All right, what's going on, family? Welcome back to another Real Talk. I pray that everybody is doing well. Of course, as we give the Most High all the honor, the glory, and all praise and worship. In this video here, the four young men that wrote me the email, I want you to hear me very loud and clear in this video. And I'm going to use this title, Studio Gangsters. And this video will make a lot of rappers mad. But in reality, a lot of them know that I'm telling the truth. This is something Eazy-E said years ago when he was alive. Because you got a lot of people that perpetrate. They are not gangsters. They don't have no street credit. They never done anything they rapped about. But when they get inside of the studio, they put it down as if, oh, they lived that life. Well, the name that was given to the ones like that was called Studio Gangsters. And let's just keep it real. Some are about that life. But then a lot of them are not. Some did grow up on the streets like that, but some grew up in the suburbs. And one thing that I always look at is what's real and what's fake. You got a lot of lyrics out here. And if you listen to that trap music, gangster rap, you're going to always hear about somebody getting murdered, shot, selling dope, violence, or we done stomped and beat up somebody, robbed them. Of course, the women, the bling bling. It's always the same lyrics. But you got to ask yourself, how many have actually lived that lifestyle and can get away with it? See, some of these cats ain't never been to the penitentiary. Some of them ain't never sold dope a day in their life. Some of them ain't never pulled the trigger and murdered nobody. But then some have. Some ain't never committed now one of those crimes that they are rapping about. You got to realize that. But sex and violence, drugs, it sells. It makes money. And so many young people are influenced by it. Then you see another one overdose on drugs. Or like we see nowadays, most of these young rappers, they barely make 25 to 30 years old. It is always murder, shot in the head, gunned down. But when crack cocaine hit back in the 80s, the rap game really started taking a turn back in the 80s. Rappers really started using that. But when you really look at the record labels, who was already robbing so many rappers in the first place. See, a lot of these cats that worked in the record labels, they knew what to do, how to do, and when to do. They knew it. And what a lot of people don't understand is that the industry, think about this, the record labels and the penitentiaries, a lot of them start coming together to use this gangster rap. How many times I hear in my old videos you hear me say, prison is a business. The penitentiary is a business. Especially now, a lot of these private prisons. But I want to make this response back to you. Don't believe everything you see. My young men, I'm trying to tell you, there's a lot that you don't understand. Why you keep saying, I want to get into this gangster rap. You know, and I want to be the next greatest rapper. I want to be the next Tupac, I want to be the next 50, I want to be the next this and that. You got to realize what you're signing up for, because it's not all that cracked up what it seems to be. And I hope you hear me on that. See, all you see is the videos, like you were saying in the email. I want that. A lot of these rappers don't own that stuff, man. A lot of these rappers are renting this stuff. A lot of those rappers done got sold, man, taken advantage of by the record label. Signed a contract. You thinking you really signing a bonus because it seemed like a lot of money because you come from the hood and you ain't never had nothing, like you say, but you signed that and realized that you ain't really gonna make what you think you're making. You ain't gonna really be able to put out the music like you want to put out, because the simple fact, you don't own it. And when rappers start trying to own, look what happened. See, a lot of this stuff is not what they putting on the news. So you gotta understand, a lot of this stuff is, a lot of these rappers are getting murdered because of insurance purposes. Insurance policies. They gonna get their money one way or the other. So I've been behind the scenes to know how a lot of this stuff go down. That's exactly the reason why I got out of it. And this ain't just started happening. If you grew up in the 70s also, you born in 70, 71, 72, you listened to a lot of rap music even back then, before the 80s hit, you know, a lot of this stuff was always hidden in the lyrics. If you put two and two together, it was always hidden in there. I remember one live chat I was having, we was talking about, you know, music from Motown up to now, and even a lot of Marvin Gaye music. A lot of people saying, well, the music nowadays is just way more revealing. But if you really listen at the music, the lyrics, I mean, let me say it like this: if you really will listen at the lyrics versus the beat, you could catch this stuff years ago. It may be reworded, but sex and drugs and all this stuff always been put in the music. But it's the beat that catch you. And then you get older, you be like, I didn't know that's what they were saying in that song. I didn't know they was promoting that in that song. But it ain't just started happening now. But the gangster rap did take a turn for the worse, and then you start hearing this trap music. See, a lot of people that say, well, the music don't influence. Yeah, it do. Yes, it does. Especially when you look at it coming from a biblical standpoint. The music, man, music is powerful. And they started using gangster rap as a weapon. It's all a trap. That's what I say about trap music. Trap music will trap you. And there's so many people in the rap game that's rapping about something they ain't never done. So that's why they are labeled as studio gangsters. You talking about you done shot 4 or 5 people and you've been slanging them bricks, putting in work, and you ain't never lived in the hood a day in your life. Kind of remind me of the movie Eminem did called 8 Mile. The guy that played Papa Docs. And when Eminem exposed him later on in that rap, you know, when they was battling, you know, he said this guy's a gangster. His real name is Clarence, and his parents had a really good marriage, so he had wanted to be gangster. There are some men I heard, young men that wants to be a gangster, and they really had a great lifestyle, but they want to be hard. They want street credit, but never was brought up on the streets. So you can tell the ones that live that life. You can tell how hungry they be for it. But I just wanted to come and let you know, a a lot of stuff that you see, young brother, it's fake, you know. And this system, they get you in this system, you use by the system, and then you get murdered by the system. So once again, you got to be careful what you ask for. And I mean this from the bottom of my heart. This is a different type of video right here because I love reaching my young people. But when you start talking about King Von and Mo 3, a lot of these ones, 6ix9ine, a lot of these ones that got murdered. See, I remember before 6ix9ine died, 6ix9ine was being interviewed by somebody, and he was saying he thought everything he heard in rap was real. It was really happening. He said the stuff I talk about in my music, I really done it. But then it was an eye-opener for him because he said everybody wasn't rapping about, they was rapping about something they never done. But then you got those ones like King Von, you know, and Mo 3. You got rappers out here that have bragged about the bodies they put on the streets. Or if you listen at the lyrics close enough, they wasn't perpetrating. They was really in them shootouts, like Mo 3 would say. Granted, know the shootouts I've been in. He come on, God, forgive me for the blood I put out there on the streets. See, everybody ain't perpetrating. And then you live by the gun, you die by the gun. Some of these rappers they had to live up to what they were rapping about, and it cost them their life. Because if you think you're going to get away with murdering somebody, and it ain't going to come back on you, you got another thing coming. But I forgot who that guy name was, but when they started talking about King Von talked about how he killed folks, murdered folks. This stuff ain't, you know, everybody ain't no studio gangster, everybody ain't perpetrating, but a lot are. So I remember back in the day when Easy used that term, you know, said they studio gangsters. They rapping about, they hard in the studio. See, but when they leave the studio, they got to take that off. It's kind of like when you look at these movies, how an actor can play that role for that movie. They gangster in that movie. But when that movie is over, they through shooting that movie, they go back to who and what they really are. A lot of these guys ain't killers. They ain't murderers. They rappers. And they being used like a puppet for that system. I'll leave on that note. Shalom.